Hey everybody, welcome to day 2 of 5 days of self-empowerment through wisdom. I just want to congratulate you for being here and making it to the second day. It is so good to have you here, and I trust that you loved day 1 and draw a lot of value out of it. It's such a joy and such an honor to be able to share this information with you guys, and to bring the wisdom that has helped me along my journey in the most incredible ways, to move from that space of disempowerment and not really knowing what to do, being reactive and coming from fear, to moving into a space where I can then start to come from a place of alignment, of centeredness, of peace and freedom from whatever it is that's actually going on. So that I can then choose to come from a space of love. So I just want to welcome you guys here, and if for some reason you've missed the first day, the first video, my name's Brad. I'm a personal and business empowerment coach, and I just want to thank you again for being here. Also, guys, on top of that, thank you for rocking out and fully participating, watching all of day 1, and going ahead and sharing your key learnings and your experiences in the Facebook group on the post, as instructed. So thanks so much for playing full out. I didn't mention this in the first video, but this training isn't here for your entertainment. This is here for those that truly want to do the work. And the fact that you're watching this right now, it really does, speak volumes as to, your inner desire and yearning to bring about a better life for yourself, to create a life of self-empowerment through wisdom, to experience joy, abundance, clarity, freedom, peace, and so on. So it's so good to have you here, guys. Let's get straight into it and have some fun and learn a thing or two, hey? So day 2, guys, day 2 is what I call, is all about the grand assumptions, the 2 grand assumptions that actually perpetuates and has us, wake up each morning and strive for what it is that we want to do. Within our lives, within this relative universe, there's these 2 grand assumptions that I've discovered, that I downloaded, and I really would love to share them with you. I think you'll draw a lot of value out of the teachings herein. So, because we live in a relative universe, guys, because we perceive me over here and you over there, him and her out there, and at the same time we perceive, you over here or this over there. So it's like there's always this idea that there's something over here and something over there, whether it's a person, a thing, and you're only in one place and the other thing is out here in that place, kind of out of reach in a sense. So because we live in this relative universe of this and that, like you and me, him and her, whatever it is, like you and the thing that you want, or whatever it might be, guys, there's a billion different opportunities in every moment to naturally assume that something is missing. Whether it's within you or within your life, within your grasp, or something's not quite right. Something isn't positioned correctly, or something shouldn't have happened, or something should have happened, right? So you can see how that comes about from being in a relative, engaging this relative universe as the individual wave, touching back on day 1. So, we experience life, once again, through our ability to relate, compare, and measure this with that condition with this condition. And if we didn't, we wouldn't exist as we currently know it, as the individual wave, right? We wouldn't cease to be the way we currently perceive ourselves to exist. So just understand that because we live in a universe of parts and differences and, this and that, there is always going to be opportunities, and I'm sure you can relate to what I'm saying, where we assume or feel that something is missing within ourselves or within our life, or something's not quite right, something shouldn't have happened or should have happened. I trust you getting these zoomed out learnings of wisdom. And so furthermore, if we see something out there in the distance, we naturally want to grasp it. We want to attach and cling to it in some way, consciously or unconsciously. Without perceiving separation and relativity, this grasping and this clinging and attaching wouldn't be possible. Thus, life as we know it wouldn't be possible. You would be striving for that thing, to have the stuff, to have the experience, to have the ideal relationship, the partner. So, you can see that it has its place. It has its essentiality. It's designed to be here. It's inherent. However, it's about being as resourceful as we can with the fact that that is the way it is. So the ocean, the formless, it's here like this relative existence. It's here so that you ultimately, as the ocean, this formless, infinite energy, so that it can experience itself in parts and understand itself in all its glory, all its diversity, all its splendor, as an infinite amount of different things, right? Beings and situations, forms / individual waves, objects, and so on. So by the infinite whole, the absolute ocean of oneness, the way that experiences itself and knows itself to be, which we are a part of, produces these waves, which is what you are, which then becomes who you are. And so I trust that this is making sense. In order for the whole, which is beyond like parts and concept itself, it needs to break itself into parts, or at least change its perspective into parts, fragments, so that it can have different reference points and actually know itself. Just the way that you refer to yourself with another person or another thing. In truth, we're all a part of this grand, infinite ocean of stillness, harmony, wholeness, infinity. I trust this is making sense, guys. So here's the trick, guys. What if we can replace the assumptions of the individual wave that is myself as Brad and you as the viewer, that something is separate, thus missing or misplaced, and instead come from and live with the perspective, the perception of the ocean, that everything around you is you, that ultimately everything is one, the same, and connected. So it comes back to yesterday, slightly different flavor of saying the same thing, the same concept. Perceive all as one, because in ultimate reality, I feel logically that it is that. It's about doing what works, right? Once again. And so that all is whole and complete. That all is totally perfect. When we zoom out, we get an appreciation for it. Like once you zoom out and see a puzzle, and it's built and it's made, you see it all as whole, one, and complete. And when we zoom in, we see ourselves as the individual puzzle piece within the puzzle, right? And thus we think that something could be missing or something's misplaced. So let's consider now and apply this same perception, this idea, the perspective of the ocean, that you are whole, complete, and perfect just as you are. So that the wave is within the ocean, but also the ocean is within the wave. It's like the dancer is within the dance, but the dance itself is within the dancer. And it's really about connecting with the what we are, the essence of what we are, not the who we are, and being stuck in the appearance of how we appear to be as the individual wave. So guys, this is a little bit shorter than day one's video. What we want to do, guys, today for day two's activity is do our best to perceive wholeness and perfection in both ourselves, yourself, and everything around you. Perceive wholeness and completeness everywhere and in everything, including yourself. This, once again, it's stemming back to oneness. And you'll find that wisdom itself and true empowerment is that which supports and encourages this idea of oneness. So build your relationship with seeing wholeness, feeling wholeness, completeness and perfection. Catch yourself every time you're thinking and feeling as the individual wave does, and the tendencies that it has, right, to feel that lack and that scarcity, and then attempt to reconsider, remember the truth, and connect with the grand perception of the ocean that you are the all, that you are perfect and perfectly placed in all moments, and everything around you is actually perfect. It is all divine perfection. So before I continue on, guys, ultimately, once again, it's not about believing me. It's about choosing what works. To perceive something as this isn't how it should be, or it should be like this, we're allowing ourselves to get caught up in it. We're allowing ourselves to be dependent on what the situation or the circumstance is, as opposed to coming from a creative space and not a reactive, fear-based space of trying to control and being attached. When we can really let go and appreciate and understand all things are perfect, including you, and everything is perfectly placed in all moments. And for some people, it takes a long time, and what we call hindsight, to finally realize that, that's why that happened, so that I could get this learning, and so that this could happen, and that's led me to this situation, or that's led me to you, or you've now been led to watching this training. And so as part of wisdom, it's to close the gap between whatever it is that happened and hindsight, to merge the gap and actually have hindsight come beforehand, before the event happens, like before you get caught up in the heat of the moment, and come from that space of, oh, I get it. This is why this is happening. So it's about reframing everything so that it's resourceful and constructive, so that it's nurturing, so that it supports further growth and expansion. Trust that's making sense for you all. So guys, as part of day 2's practical activity in terms of perceiving wholeness and perfection, I want you to choose three things that you currently perceive are missing in your life, or not quite as they should be in your life. Whatever things that you're experiencing a bit of resistance around, or lack or emptiness around, unfulfillment, dissatisfaction, whatever it might be, disappointment, whatever, three things that you think are missing or not as they should be in your life. So go ahead, pause this video, write down those three things. Awesome. And once you've done that, now we want to do is we want to write down three new thoughts for each of those things that you've chosen, that you've written down, that has you invalidate the assumption, the grand assumptions here, of illusory and inconclusive separation, and instead has you build your connection to the idea that all is perfect and that nothing was ever missing, whether it's within yourself or within your life. So write down 3 new thoughts for each of those things that is going to have you step into that space of the ocean, that all is one, that all is so perfect and exactly as it should be. So right now, look guys, go ahead and pause it if you need to write down those questions. I just want to add, to go and think from that space does require flexibility in your neurology. So you might find that you're hitting a blank spot and you can't really find the words to put it together or put together a new thought, because look, let's face it, for the most part of our lives, we have been perceiving unconsciously or consciously that something is missing, that something isn't as it should be in our lives, or something isn't there that should be. So do your best, pause, take your time, and I'm going to share an example with you right now. So the disempowered thought or situation could be that, you have a lack of money, and you could be saying to yourself, I have a lack of money. I am poor. My income is too low. It's just not enough. And so the empowered thought here, guys, could be, and it could be one of many things for you. It's, I have the necessary amount of money coming in right now because I now have the opportunity to manage it even better and also become clearer on the income that I'd like to pursue and call in for myself instead. So once again, guys, it's about taking our disempowered thoughts and turning it into expansiveness, opportunity, empowerment, openness, having us realize that there's actually a lot more choice available. There's infinite choice available to us, and it's about tapping into that and choosing that which is non-restricting, that which is infinite, that which is going to feed you, that which is going to give you power and lift you up. That's what this is about. So if you need to pause it and read this, go for it. You're doing really well, guys. This information is not in your everyday conversation, or it might be, but it's just worded differently. Perceiving wholeness and perfection. You know, often in times where I realize that I've reacted in the heat of the moment, most of the time I turn around and go, hey, it's all perfect. And whilst it might not seem like that in the moment, upon reflection, you'll always come to the realization that it is all perfect. And as it is, it just is what it is. So it's about closing the gap between the event, the thing that's happening in your life, and bringing that wisdom together with that so that you reduce your amount of suffering. You reduce your amount of disempowerment and limitation. Awesome, guys. Trust that's making sense for you all so far. So empowerment through perceiving wholeness, completeness, and perfection, guys. Doesn't get any cooler than that, right? So the benefits of this, guys, and just to list a few, you know, you are building your connection to calling in abundance for yourself. You are lessening your thoughts and feelings of lack, scarcity, and disempowerment because you are coming from that space that nothing is missing. All is whole and perfect. Everything is so wholesome. You are wholesome. Life is wholesome. It's so full of everything you need. You are lessening your suffering because you are reducing the amount of focus you place on what's over there. And instead of seeing it as something missing or that it needs to be here, no, it is perfect where it is, and you are perfect where you are and as you are. You know, you stop seeing things as they should be and start seeing things exactly as they are, which is what I just mentioned, without judgment and without attachment, which means you reduce your amount of suffering. How cool is that, guys? I trust you soaking that up and just soaking that up throughout every part of your being, and just make sure that throughout this training that as you watch this video that you're breathing into your belly and you're allowing the information that I'm sharing with you right now to come through and readjust and alter your thought patterns, the way you perceive things, and just let that flow into your being. And bring about that harmonious and empowering change that you're looking for. Awesome, guys. And if you want to come up with some more benefits for yourself, go ahead, write them down. I'm sure the list goes on for miles. So thank you so much for tuning in to day 2. It's been incredible to have you here, guys. Once again, please go out, take this through perceiving wholeness, perfection, and completeness throughout your day. Do your best to embody that and activate that perception within you, and just watch life change for you. Watch the empowerment that flows through and moves with you as you go about your day. And please, at the end of the day, please jump on, search #day2, find the Facebook post, and write in the comment section your key learnings and your experiences. It's been so awesome to have you guys here on day 2. I'll see you on day 3. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Take care, guys. Enjoy.